On men who genuinely identify as lesbian had so many folks in the comments saying, I thought lesbian meant non-man loving non-man. So I figured I'd take the opportunity to discuss the difference between decentering men and excluding men. In short, decentering men is a practice by which we prioritize a diversity of thoughts, experiences, and perspectives in order to improve a society that has too long prioritized only the concerns of men, to all of our detriment. But decentering men isn't about removing anyone from the conversation, it's about shifting men into the audience, to be listeners. Men are also victims of patriarchy. From birth, they're fed a toxic idea of gender they can only live up to by being toxic themselves. Despite being born with a microphone, they are by design withheld the language needed to vocalize ways to dismantle patriarchy, which is why the microphone must be taken from them and given to someone from whom they can learn and discover what it means to actually be or not be a man. If we exclude them from the auditorium, how can they ever see what's on stage? Now, understanding lesbian in such formulaic terms as non-man loving non-man is actually still centering men. I mean, look, it's right there, non-man. What amounts to basically a no men allowed sign ends up uniting people under a shared act of exclusion informed by the worst definition of man rather than a celebration and sharing of what people enjoy about their crafted identity. The worst instances of this are man-hating lesbians and gold star lesbians, both badges of honor that make a disdain for an entire gender, be it chosen or not, central to their identity. People deserve to have a space without men, many commenters said. Again, as if a no men allowed sign magically bars men from entry or makes a space safe from toxic behavior. This is why I compare this thinking to the trans bathroom arguments. As much as we'd like to exist in spaces that autonomously curate safety like a warding spell, enforcement of those spaces always falls on us. This means all of us collectively developing the emotional intelligence to welcome curious people, while also detecting and ejecting obviously bad faith actors. Men who troll about being lesbian don't need to be taken seriously any more than those who troll about being attack helicopters. A number of commenters seemed under the impression that lesbian bars are places where men aren't allowed, and again, that's not true, and I urge you to think about how that would immediately fall apart. Putting aside the entire category of butch, how do you identify a man without them telling you? The more you try to exclude based on, appearances, the more you feed into turf logic, the more that space becomes poisoned by transphobia and, oh no, you've undermined the very thing you set out to create. Many commenters wondered why lesbian men are always the subject of discourse and not gay women, and just think about why. First, trans women who more closely align with gay culture and prefer to date gay men 1000% exist, but because of societal double standards, we don't view a woman identifying with a man-dominated space as a threat to that space, nor does society actually care about the safety of that trans woman. Mass panic about women and children's safety is only acceptable when used to demonize the oppressed. I refer you to how the bathroom panic actually imperils all women. Yet, in the example of the UK Supreme Court ruling, it was all done in service of the lesbian community. It's a misinformed obsession about safety that only drives us further into policing identities, which isn't the solution. As society plunges deeper into fascism, it's no surprise that people desperately cling to the idea of a magical warding spell. We are all craving security and accountability at a time when there isn't any. Exclusion can feel instantly gratifying, but here's the thing. Reducing identity to textbook definitions and internalizing rigid thinking exports the responsibility of enforcing safety to broken institutions we don't control like cops or social media algorithms. Exclusion is a fear-based tactic, a quick fix that feels like community building, but it's actually isolating, and it won't save us. My last